Even the players out there napping, dog.
Like going, hey, he got her.
After the break, Daryl Morey believes the Rockets have closed the gap on the Warriors by stealing my man Chris Paul. But do you guys agree? We'll discuss next.
This is Sports
Back to Sports Nation. Yada I mean, El Hassan is in the house. So, you know what?
I just got back from Joseph A. Bank. They had a buy one, get 9 free sale. So.
Well, you bank. You look bankrupt, bro. You broke. Better get your shirt game up. All right, let's talk some hoops to make you happy right there. Let's talk about the Houston Rockets and GM Daryl Morey. Been aggressive this offseason, acquiring Chris Paul, actually stealing Chris Paul from my team, and adding versatile defender P.J. Tucker. Morey told the Houston Chronicle that the Rockets have, quote, closed the gap on the Warriors. So, yada I mean, you agree with Morey?
One of my favorite movies of all time is Don't Be a Menace.
To South Central while drinking your juice in the hood.
Where they're playing cards and Toothpick is talking about, you know what he's talking about, and then he's like, ah, I was fooling. Those were jokes. Woo! Woo!
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Daryl Morey to hit us with one of those. Close the gap? Are you kidding me?
You don't think so?
Hell no.
Chris Paul added to a team doesn't close a gap. They lost 7 players, I give you that. But
Sure,
They
the gap was here.
Yes,
Closed Exactly. They closed the gap. Instead of losing by 20, now it's 19. They closed the gap.
No.
Closing the gap. Here's the question. Are they going to add Carmelo Anthony? And if they do,
That still doesn't close the
If they
gap.
do, does that do it?
No, that doesn't
they can do it. Daryl Morey said he had a trick up his sleeve. And then he
Is
had
that
a
chick
Chris
named
Paul.
LeBron James?
And that trick might be named Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah.
That chick named Anthony Davis?
Nope.
No, look, when Chris Paul was stolen, kidnapped from the Clippers.
He said, I'm going. Y'all need to trade me.
I heard that too. I heard that too. That get away. No, but seriously, there were 2 names that were circled. It was Paul George, which we know he can't get now. And it was actually Carmelo Anthony. He's still out there. He's still trying to get the buyout. Maybe it is Carmelo. You don't think that's enough to close the gap even more?
No.
Even more?
No, not at all.
Look, I get it. We all get it.
Only gap they closing is if they go to the mall and put that chain down.
It's a foregone conclusion that they're going to win the championship again. But someone's going to contend. Someone's going to be there when Steph Curry slips and hurts himself.
They
like
are
he did 2 years ago. Somebody's going to
They have locked up
Maybe.
the number 3 spot. That's what they've done so far. They locked up number 3.
So Spurs are 2?
Spurs still 2.
Damn, this last year all over again. All right, with Chris Paul in Houston, my team needed to find another point guard, and they went all the way to Europe. There it is. And found my man Milos Teodosic.
Wow, you better practice that.
How you say Milos Teodosic?
Just call him Teddy.
All right, yeah. He signed for 2 years, 12
Teddy
million.
Riley.
Real deal. Patrick Beverly called him one of the best passers in the NBA because he used to play with him, LZ. Can Milos be the Clippers' savior? Give me some love.
Well, I think about the name Milos, and I think Milos Raonic, one of the greatest tennis players of today's time. I think Milos, Greek island.
No one knew
Pretty good island, right?
Yeah.
There was a classical guitarist by the name of Milos. He was pretty good. He used to sell out.
This is like a book report, right?
So I'm thinking, Milos are pretty good. So I'm gonna give Milos a chance.
So I was along those lines, but instead of a classical guitarist, I was thinking, they just signed the Migos.
Man, will you stop?
Maybe they could do something. Look at Quavo. Research on Quavo too. Look at Q.
Yeah.
Distance. The point shooter. Look at that. He broke the little. Here we go. That back. He pull up. Bang.
That was
They
slow as hell,
signed
man.
Migos, and I can tell you about that.
I'm going to the player for the I don't know about this. Look, I like Milos. Real talk, 2016, we watched the Olympics. Serbia almost beat the USA team. We was like, who's the point guard out there, fancy? Kind of like a grown Ricky Rubio out there with his fancy passing and his fancy game. This is the good thing about him. His title is the best point guard outside the NBA. The best international point guard in the world. Y'all don't think that's a good
He
player?
ain't been to the D. He ain't been to New York. I bet there are better point guards than him in the D and in New York.
I would say this: it's a gamble. You've got Ricky Rubio here, and also Marcelo Huertas here, and he's like, and he's like, it could go either way. It could go either way.
I don't want to hear that. But Patrick Beverly vouches for him. That means
No,
something.
but Patrick Beverly played with him 8 years ago, though. That's the whole
So
point.
he's gotten better.
No, look,
he's won
look,
2
look.
of the MVPs
Patrick's
over
gotten
there.
better. We don't know what's old
He's
up
won
to.
2 of the MVPs over there.
Teodosic was a fine player, and at one point in his career, I thought, man, you need to make that jump over to the NBA. But with like a lot of European guys that make so much money in Europe,
Yeah.
it wasn't making
Oh, it
any
took a
sense
lot of money for him to get out the
Exactly.
contract. It did.
They're not going to come here for minimum. So they kind of spend their time, and then they reach a point where, like, well, if I'm going to try this, I got to try this now. We saw it with Huertas. We saw it with Sarunas Jasikavic. We saw it with...
What'd you say?
What'd you say some cabbages? Where the
Sarunas
cabbages?
Jasikavic.
Bless you.
Smoke
This
cabbages.
is an exec, former exec in the NBA. Look at that.
And all those guys were special talents, but I felt like they just came too
He's
late.
30 years young. Stop it, man. He's not that old.
Look, let me tell you something. Notice everyone's talking about his passing and his shooting. Ain't nobody talking about his defense, though.
Hey, nobody talking about his movement. Well, let's talk about another player who just got paid. My man, Andre Robertson.
Robertson, as in he robbed them, son.
Fresh off a brand new 3-year, $30 million contract to stay with the Thunder. But Robertson tallied up nearly $500 bill, yet gave only a $13 tip. Robertson defended himself, tweeting, "Should not have had to tip you if it was just a bottle at a bar. There was no service." Ooh, interesting. No service there. Jacoby, whose side you're on?
What does that mean?
In this tip?
Hold on, what does that mean?
I did some research on this. It's at the Chupacabra Cantina in Austin, Texas.
Okay.
I called them today. They didn't really want to talk to me.
God bless you.
And here's what I figured out.
Yeah, right.
This is not a nightclub. Like, this isn't he said, I got a bottle, there was no service. TMZ, which is always right 100% of the time,
Yeah, that's
said
real.
they were getting vodka sodas, Red Bulls, and Long Island iced teas. Anyone knows if you are ordering Long Island iced teas,
Someone
you're
has to
trying to
make
get
it.
drunk.
Yeah,
Trying to
that's
get drunk.
real.
There's 4 bottles in there. I'm feeling that perhaps Mr. Robertson was a little intoxicated. You can tell from the math. And if you look at the receipt,
Yeah, he's
he
crippled.
tried to write one thing, and he's like, nah, I'm going to tip him less than that, and crossed
Yeah.
it out.
Yeah.
It said there was no service. To ring up that kind of a bill at that place, you had to order multiple things. I'm with my people at the Chupacabra.
Well, he tried to write it to 500, so that should have been 1287 instead of what he wrote.
Exactly.
which
He's
is
off twice.
1397.
He
Yeah.
wasn't just off with one digit.
Okay, let me give you that. I have 2 arguments here. The one that counters yours is the fact that, look, when you go somewhere and you are intoxicated and it's time to pay the bill, that's why you go to places like Miami, Vegas, mandatory tip included. Because I am not in the right mindset
that is exactly
to
why you
write
go.
down what the hell the tip should be.
so
You
no,
don't kill
you're
me.
right. That's
That's
his
real
fault.
thing.
It's not his
That's
fault.
not
It's the
his
place's fault. It's the
Yes.
management's fault. You're
Yes,
right.
that's
You're
an
totally
old
right. You're
rule.
totally
That
right.
rule's been around
You
decade
can't
plus.
expect a grown human being to tip.
No, you can't
themselves.
expect them to tip the accurate amount when you already just fed them 10 Long Islands. That's the obvious thing.
Oh, I know
Look,
what happened.
you think he messed up the math, and now he's trying to cover his tracks by saying there was
That
service?
or the service sucked. And you know what? When the
Here's my-
service is bad, I ain't got to tip
You know what it
The
was? I
service
think
is
he didn't
bad.
get any free rounds, and he was salty about it. That's
I don't think it's
theory.
even that.
You hit a free throw, you get a free round. That's
Hey,
what
This is my theory. When he said there was no service, he didn't say it was bad service. He said no service.
You made his phone?
It means no. It means that the person serving him was not wearing like the Playboy bunny outfit with sparklers on. I think that's what he equates with service. It was just a
like
dude.
real club
just
life.
a dude gave you a bottle. Oh, here you go. It's like there ain't no service.
Interesting, because you know we go to restaurants, we tip them when a waiter
Yeah.
comes out. But when you go to McDonald's and they give you the same food, it takes them 3 steps. You ain't sitting there saying, "Here's your extras."
Real talk.
We don't do that.
As a black man with the stereotype about brothers don't tip, I always try and make sure I tip right. I just do.
It's in your
You know,
head?
It's in my head. It's like I can't be that one dude that's not going to carry the flag for the peoples.
So do
it's
you
like,
walk in Popeyes? Are you self-conscious then too?
I'm
Nah.
walking
See,
Popeyes,
exactly,
man.
exactly.
I'm walking Popeyes.
I do.
You got a problem with that too? Stereotypes. Come up after the break. We got more proof that cats, they're better than dogs. We already knew that. Hashtag COD. The discussion is over.
That side-eye.
Look at the dog face. He
This is
wasn't ready.
frustration.
Maybe if I don't move, they can.
Let's go, Bellinger.
And time for Pulse of the Nation, presented by Toyota. You know what we got right now. Some winners and losers time. Winner cats. This cute kitten lets this big old dog know who's boss and jabs him in the face.
The dog's just acting like
Watch the dog's reaction to
Maybe
food
if I
once in a
stand
while.
still, that cat won't even notice I'm
Cats
here.
are superior to
No,
dogs.
what you have to
Yeah.
appreciate is the dog's side eye afterwards.
I do.
It is solid.
It's funny how humans think that dogs are better than cats. Most humans do.
Yeah,
But
it's
dogs
true.
know that cats got them. Like, you ever see a dog and a cat? Cats are like, come on, dog, let's go get this. If
Cats
you
don't
want.
do that because they can't.
Come on if you want these problems.
What
You know,
kind of cat you talking
what's the
about?
king of the jungle? Is it a dog or a cat?
Protect the house.
It's
though. That's
cat. It's man.
Loser. Here. Take a look at this dude swinging from high up on this rope. Doing
Nah.
1,000 flips before a perfect landing in the water. LZ,
Yes, sir.
you're the one up here. I'm gonna ask this. Would you do that?
Nah, bro. You crazy?
Is our ropes
Ain't about that.
cultural?
Here's the funny thing. You see a silhouette, and you didn't have to tell me the ethnicity of the guy.
I think rope swings might be cultural. I'm throwing that out there. It might be cultural.
What are you saying? Because they in the woods and they doing flips?
But did he
They
tip?
ain't my people.
I'm not saying anything.
Did he tip?
How does he get out, too? Look at all those rocks. Yeah, he definitely tipped.
Brother, drive up there.
He tipped everybody. He tipped the guy that filmed it. He tipped the guy that tied up the rope. He tipped
Everybody got
everybody
20%. You get 20%. You give it 20%.
He gave it to Joseph A. Bank about some soon.
Get out. Winner. commitment. The 28th wife-carrying world championship recently took place in Finland. Husbands carried their wives for more than 250 meters on a sandy obstacle course. Jacoby, would you do this with your spouse?
My spouse is not doing this. She's drowning right there.
Oh!
Her head is under the water. Are you kidding me?
Divorce rate high.
That's not a contest. That's divorce court.
You tried to murder me. I'm filing a lawsuit.
I would definitely do this, but oops, ran into another thing again, honey. My bad.
This one's stuck. This is N1 wife carrying right here.
My wife ain't little, so
You said
nah.
N1
This is the
wife
N1
carrying?
wife carrying right there.
Ooh.
Just stunting. See?
Yo, how many kegels?
Everything.
Yeah, that's the time I need a little skinny wife.
I just need to know, like, how do you approach your wife about the conversation?
Yeah, nah, my
Hey,
wife
honey,
weighs.
what you doing?
My wife's
Hey, can I carry you?
175.
The night before, she's having steaks. How about salad?
Decision making. Odell Beckham Jr. recently posted pictures of his newest ink. Got the faces of Bob Marley, Lil Wayne, shout out y'all, baby.
Wow.
Mike Tyson tatted on his thigh. And this is in addition to the Michael Jackson tat he already had on his leg. Oh my God. LZ, any consideration for a celebrity on your body?
For a celebrity?
Yeah. Would you do it?
Maybe like Jesus.
Let me
Is he
tell
a celebrity?
you, no. Let me tell you something. That's a positive test.
My Lord.
You get a Bob Marley tattooed on yourself, that's a positive test. A Bob Marley tattoo and a Lil Wayne tattoo,
Next to each
that's
other.
a positive test. He's definitely
That's
he got one of those random tests the next day.
You don't think that Michael Jackson was enough?
No.
He was completely sober when he did Michael Jackson, but when he did,
got one of those
but when he
Joey
did Bob
Harrison
Marley,
random
then
tests.
that's the sign.
Just the ink going through your bloodstream is a positive test. That's it for us. Have a great